Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así.
Thank you, God, for this day we have lived, everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul is old.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub.
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Doing what we do 3 to 4 nights a week. King Chaka ENT.
I got this.
From the
She
back
starts
seat.
shooting.
That dude was like, ow.
What was that?
Outside the car,
That nigga
deputies'
got
body
popped.
cameras capturing the bullets flying through the air.
We got shots fired
couldn't
up
have been
here.
a straight
We need
shot. It had
backup
to be-
immediately. Start
Are you-
EMS. Start EMS.
What
We got
the
a
fuck?
civilian. We got a civilian hit.
The deputy.
Looks like we got us another hit.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated public cannot be controlled. Learn to be active. The views and events expressed here are totally whacked and are not necessarily the views of anyone. Yeah. So, the name of the show today is Do We Hate Education? You know, do we have a disdain for academics? You know, people always be like, I hate going to school, or I hate my homework, I hate math, I hate history, or whatever it is. I hate geography, chemistry, whatever it is, right? And then also in the news, I keep hearing all these stories about like a teacher did this and a teacher did that. It seems like in the news, it's like the teachers are freaking bad guys. They're all trying to get your kids to be transgender. They're all trying to get your kids to learn, I don't know, some history that's not a real history. They're just evil people, And then you hear about when they talk about elites and they be talking about academics and people who write books or whatever. Oh, he's elite. Oh, he's a what do they call it? He's an expert. Oh, he's an expert. Oh, well, go ahead then, Oh, he speaks 5 languages. Oh, well, go ahead then. Do we hate knowledge? Do we hate knowing? That's my question. Is there a disdain for academics? And let's go here. Like, so if there is, let's say there's a disdain for academics. There's a hate for education. There's a hate for knowledge. There's a hate for knowing. There's a hate for teachers and college professors. Let's say that's true. So then what kind of society will you have, as a result of that? What's going to happen as a result of that? They say knowledge is power, right? And shoot, us as humans, we're not like other animals. Like when we're born like helpless, a lot of other animals aren't so helpless. Like we're like the most helpless. There's some other mammals that's like us that come out pretty helpless, but we're like the most helpless. Like literally, if we didn't have somebody to feed us, keep us warm, and clean the poop off of us, we would not make it. Literally. We're just like a useless space when we first come out. And we don't know shit. We're a blank slate. We're a blank page, you know? And one of the things about humans that's interesting is the gestation process or the you know, the growing up process, the nurturing process, and how long it takes, you know? Even within our societies, people aren't considered an adult until they're 18. So, you know, if you go by that, then it's 18 years of adolescence. It's 18 years of growth. It's 18 years of, you know, being a child and still having to learn things, right? So, you know, it's a good thing because we have the opportunity to teach the children, you know, all the things that they need to know to be able to be successful in the world and, you know, live and make it, you know. But it just goes to show that our species, for us to be successful, we have to be taught things. Like we don't just wake up knowing, you know, math, history, geography. We have to be taught language. We forget that. You forgot that your parents or whoever taught you to speak. They taught you what words and how to pronounce the words and stuff. You didn't come out knowing that. You had to be taught it. So now you do it like it's nothing, like you're walking. Remember, you had to learn how to walk too. Now you do it like it's nothing. But if you wasn't taught these things, maybe you wouldn't know how to do them. So as a society, though, you know, one of the things I like to focus on is how to think, you know, and that's what I try to focus on with my kids is like, you know, I want them to have their own mind, think their own thoughts, but I want to help them in learning how to think. I think a lot of times people just turn their mind off. And sometimes that's good. If you're in a fight or flight situation, you're in a situation where you know, you need to try to stay alive. It might be a good idea to kind of turn your mind off a bit, you know, but the rest of the time, no. But we do that in our society because we're trained to do that. And I think it's related to this disdain for academics. Because if you live in like a totalitarian state, they don't want you to know stuff. You know, if you live in like a class system, a class structure where you have a certain part of the society who are born and their kids and, you know, and their grandparents, everybody stayed in the same class, you know, and there's no movement really. So the thing is about the people that you want to call elite or whatever, you know, one of the things, I mean, that's different is they teach their children stuff. Like they prepare them to be leaders. They prepare them to run the world. So they got to know stuff to be able to do that. So they take the time to do that, and they're always teaching them, you know, and they like, you got to be better than those people or whatever, you know, you're higher class than them. So then you need to know more stuff. You need to be more polite than them. You need to be more elegant or whatever, you know, more cultured, you know, go to the theater, you know. But it's all, those are good things, really. And all of us should be teaching our children that way. All of us should be putting our children in position to be leaders. You know, all of them should be going to the theater. That stuff, you know, seeing plays and orchestras and stuff like that, you know, other kind of cultural things, artsy stuff, seeing people make things, going to museums or whatever it is you have to do to expose yourself to this other things, you know, what are some things that you've always kind of wanted to do, or maybe you was afraid of doing or whatever, maybe your parents didn't take you to do it. Like, what if when you was a kid, your parents took you to the pool and they taught you how to swim, you know, and they really made sure you knew how to swim. So then now you know how to swim for the rest of your life. You end up in a situation where you have to swim to save your life or swim to save somebody else's life. You could do it. Not only that, you're more likely to teach your child how to swim. So that person, they've made sure that their child know how to swim, and maybe their grandkids now know how to swim, or in the future going to know how to swim because their parent knows how to swim, and they're going to teach their kid because they feel like it's important, you know? And other stuff, just learning stuff like, you ever been ice skating or roller skating? You know, you ever took any type of fighting classes like jujitsu or kickboxing or something? You know, you ever tried to learn something that didn't have nothing to do with school or work? Like, your job makes you learn stuff, but they just want you to know enough to do your job so that they could pay you trash so that you can make money for them. You know, they're not going to teach you how the businesses run, what's going on behind the scenes, how to run a business, even though you probably the whole business. But you're missing those parts. You're missing those parts that you need to know to understand what's actually everything that's going on. So, but they don't want you to know that. But again, like I say, when was the last time you took the time to try to learn something that didn't have nothing to do with work or didn't have to do with a class or something that was mandatory? Like taking a class, if it's a class that you're taking just because you want to take it, that's not what I mean. I mean like some mandatory stuff that you was forced to do, like your job. Your job makes you learn stuff. So when have you went out there and tried to learn something that you didn't know before just because you wanted to know how to do it or more about it? You know, our society doesn't reward those kinds of behaviors. Not only that, is they got everybody on this hamster wheel, so forth. They don't have time. They literally do not have time to like learn new stuff. Like, you know, I mean, you could do stuff though, you know. I have the app Duolingo. You can use that while you're using the restroom or you're taking your little 10-minute break every day. And that shit'll add up over time, you know. So there's little things that you can do. But the way the system is set up is to keep you from having the time to be able to explore your mind, explore your creativity, to grow yourself. Because they don't want that. The people who are what you want to call the elites, they got plenty of time for that. They don't just make their kids go to work right away, you know? They don't just throw their kids out in the street when they turn 18, you know? And, you know, they don't make their kids pay a whole bunch of bills right away. I don't know. Call me crazy. It is what it is. This is my rant for today. The other part is like, you know, it's my birthday, so I'm feeling time going by, and I think about that, you know, time going by, getting older, you know, growing and changing. You know, you think about all the things you've done in your life, the things that you would have done different. You know, you think about where you landed in your life. How'd you get here? You know, and you think about what you know, what your plans are and what you can do different for the future, you know. I don't know. You know, it's not fair at all out here, but the universe is not fair, but it's balanced. So the thing is, you know, like let's say a person lives their whole life and does horrible things or whatever, and then nothing ever really happens to them. They grow old and they pass on. But like I say, that's not really fair, but the universe is balanced. So some of that stuff that this dude was kicking out while he was alive, maybe it didn't come back while he was alive, but maybe it came back on his kids or his grandkids or even his great grandkids, or maybe it came back on his wife, you know, somebody else, somebody really close to him, sister or brother. It's not fair, but it's balanced. Everybody got to pay. Ain't no escaping it. I really kind of wanted to talk about the freaking time thing. I wanted to talk with somebody about that. I got a few things I want to cover, but let's start off with Trevor Noah is leaving The Daily Show, if you haven't heard. I find it interesting, you know. I've been watching The Daily Show. I haven't watched it very much in a while, so that's kind of, not surprising to me. Like, it kind of fits because I haven't been watching The Daily Show in forever. And it's not necessarily because of Trevor, I would say. You know, I watched it a lot with Jon Stewart. But, I was younger also and not as politically astute as I am now. So, and when Trevor Noah took over The Daily Show, I enjoyed it. It was good. Maybe, it's not the same as it was with Jon Stewart because Jon Stewart has his style and Trevor Noah had his. Trevor Noah made it more funny, I would say. And Jon Stewart was more substance, whatever, like trying to make good points and shit. So just a bit different. And then the scene, the left, Jon Stewart and Trevor Noah, they're both coming from the left. So, but the left has changed over time too, and it's all mushy and soft and friendly and not like really, it's so scared to point out the real issues. Like, that's the thing. Like, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart was kind of filling a void that we needed, an outlet, like hearing somebody say this stuff that we're not hearing nowhere. Like, that's common sense, but no one's saying it out loud. And Jon Stewart's pointing it out, and it's just perfect. It's like therapy. And so, but Trevor Noah was different as far as like, and maybe it has to do with me, like I say, being more politically astute. The jokes fell flat. A lot of the jokes fell flat, not because like he wasn't good at what he was doing, but just because of like what they're talking about, like the agenda of the left, like the way they're thinking and shit, like the way they want people to think, what they're trying to tell people to think, because that's what that show did. It was really good at it too. What was the popular views on the left, like let's say the masks mandates and the vax mandates and stuff. The left's cheering that on, and Trevor Noah's cheering that on. And that's what it is. Like, whatever's really popular on the left, and they're going to champion it. And the same things that the left is like demonizing or making fun of or canceling, because a lot of that was going on with Trevor too. Then, like I say, Trevor's jumping right on that. So, and then they want to say that he messed up the show. And I don't think that's true. I think that just things have changed. The left changed for one. And the way that the cable news, like that scene, all of that late night TV, all that has changed now with the streaming, and the kids, they like to watch clips. They don't even care about watching it live. So the show wasn't getting the ratings, but I'm sure that people were still checking out the clips. So I don't think that that's the reason why necessarily, but who knows? I'm a fan of Trevor Noah, bro. He's pretty funny, which direction I don't think it matters who they put on The Daily Show. As long as they keep coming at it with this soft left stuff, it's not going to be that popular. People want, either hard right or hard left. Like, this mushy middle stuff is nobody feeling that anymore, and it's not even that funny. Like, even if you're just making jokes, it's all soft jokes. It's too much real shit going on out here for us to be laughing at these soft ass mushy shit when everybody wants action, no matter which side they're on. And The Daily Show with Trevor Noah was like a pacifier for people. It was to keep people pacified and like laughing and be like, okay, whatever, let's just vote next time. And, hopefully things will get better looking at us. No. Anyways, let me play this. I think it's interesting that the topic of Trevor Noah no longer being on the show, and their ratings have been sucking, their views have been ass. And I haven't been watching it either, but because it's kind of annoying, it kind of bothers me. The topics and stuff. It's like I can tell what they're doing. Like I can feel it, I can hear it, and it bothers me.
Trevor Noah, host of The Daily Show, announced he's stepping down after 7 years at the helm of Comedy Central's late night show. Today, though, many are questioning the show's future amid low ratings. So here's a look at the show's highs and lows by the numbers. Noah brought in 1.1 million viewers for his opening show back in 2015, and the show's ratings reached 1.5 million in early 2017. But compare that to 2.5 million viewers. That's how many previous host Jon Stewart was pulling in 2015, his final year on the show. And most recently, just about 200,000 people are watching the show. But some point out that Noah's audience is the most diverse in the show's history. Stewart's run ended with 75,000 black viewers per night. At his peak, Noah had 87,000 black viewers. 74% of Trevor's viewers are between 18 and 49 years old. About 10% tune in for the news headlines, while 43% come for the entertainment. And some say that young audience is the reason for a ratings plummet across late-night comedy, as many are turning to shorter clips online.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks.
The show announced he's
George Stephanopoulos here. The damn bell that came at the end is probably going to get me. I don't know what all ones I can play on this. That's why I'm kind of scared, because I can't play no Daily Show stuff. They will hit me with a copyright. Let's see. Somebody maybe can play. Which one was it? I played that one. See, that's the Daily Show official clips. I can't play that. Let me see. I can't play no clips from him. Let's see.
And shock tonight in the late night talk show world. Trevor Noah announcing he's leaving The Daily Show.
It's been one of my greatest challenges. It's been one of my greatest joys. I've loved trying to figure out how to make people laugh, even when the stories are particularly on the worst days. You know, we've laughed together, we've cried together. But after 7 years, I feel like it's time.
Noah took over as host of The Daily Show back in 2015. He says he's grateful to everyone, including the audience, but he wants to get back to traveling to other countries and putting on comedy shows. Noah did not give a timeline for when he is leaving The Daily Show. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe.
So let me read some comments underneath this one. It says 7 years of continuous plummeting ratings, from Jon Stewart's 2.5 million viewers to under 400K for Trevor. The advertising revenue can no longer support Trevor's paycheck, so it's bye-bye to Noah. That could be the case. He's very well paid. Everybody knows that. He had a good gig. It's like you got good work. It's good work if you can find it. What is it say? Something like that. That could be the case. Let me read some more. It says, announced when you're the young means he's either told to leave on his own or he got fired publicly. Yeah, I wonder if he left on his own or if they told him to leave. It's crazy when you have those kinds of jobs. Really good job. Like when it's the boss, when the boss leaves, you never know if they got fired or quit. You never know. Let me read some more. It says, it turns out virtual signaling is not a good business model, nor does it make good comedic material. Yeah, you know, it had its fucking what it was doing. Like MSNBC does the same thing. Shoot, they got ratings. And I would say that I mean, Trevor is funny. His impersonations and shit is really good. Like the guy is freaking funny. He's talented at what he does, and he did his job like A1, I think. What they wanted him to do. It's just that, you know, the world has moved on. Like I say, I've moved on. I didn't find it that funny. Like some of the stuff was funny, but I didn't find it funny not because it wasn't funny, but just because it, you know, what they were talking about and what they were trying to do. Let me read some more. It says, this is amazing news. Maybe I'll watch the show again. I bet it's because of low viewer numbers. And, I think it's a bunch of racism behind some of these comments, being that Jon Stewart was a white guy and the show got taken over by Trevor Noah, who was a black guy. And then, he's from South Africa too, so he's not even really like American, so there goes another part of it. But I liked that about Trevor, because whenever he would talk about topics going on in the States, he could compare it to South Africa. He grew up in apartheid South Africa. It was a freaking crime for his life to be alive. You know what I'm saying? His parents had to hide him. Because he was mixed. And it was illegal for that there. So, and whenever he would talk about topics in the United States related to black people, he could compare it to his experience in South Africa. And I think that was a really good thing that he brought to the show. So, but I think that it's a segment of society that had a problem with him just because of his skin tone. And, that may be another reason why the show wasn't getting the views that it should have been getting. Let me read some more. It says, so he made a lot of money destroying the show. I am in the wrong line of work. Another comment, it says, to be fair to Trevor, he was funnier than Hannah Gadsby. These people are hating on this dude. Somebody says, good luck, Trevor, with a heart. So I think that was... I'll read another one. It says, Noah may be out of his feet now, but he'll land on his knees soon enough. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Okay, I'm done reading these comments. Anyways, the dude is going to be fine. First off, he's rich. He's like a celebrity. Like, people love him. He's funny. He's going to do his comedy stand-up, and he'll make money off of doing that. And like I'm sure he's pretty damn rich already. The show done got him pretty damn rich, and he's already a part of that circle, so he's good. Somebody's gonna offer him a job. And a lot of the stuff is going on this non-scripted stuff. So that's what's blowing up right now. So like, how like you had how reality TV kind of took over the whole sitcom scenes. Like, we still have sitcoms, but the sitcoms have to be like really good. But sucks is that those sitcoms have budgets that they have to spend on, production, all of this stuff. And they're competing with these reality shows, which have like no budget, no overhead at all. And, so that's the thing. That's the problem. So those sitcoms, for them to make it, they have to be really, really, really good nowadays. Because they're competing with all of these reality shows that people watch. So it's the unscripted stuff. So, but then even though the reality shows are scripted, now the appearing to be unscripted, let's say that. So, but then what's happening, on like, let's say the cable news scene or the media scene related to news and stuff. Well, the podcasting thing is blowing the hell up, and the big companies, the big media conglomerates want to tap in on this. So then they're making shows now that are, kind of like unscripted shows where they just talk, kind of like what I do on here. And so that they're doing more stuff like that. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that Trevor Noah comes back in some kind of show doing some kind of unscripted something, I think he already has like a podcast show. But I mean like a show that would be on, on TV or, online or whatever, like with a set, but like with unscripting, like interviewing guests or something like that. Who knows how they would do it, but just like regular talking, but then they're going to talk about the news and like social issues or whatever the hell. I could totally see that, and I think a lot of the shows are going to go in that direction. Like, who knows which direction the Daily Show would go in after Trevor leaves, that'll be a good opportunity for them to like completely restructure the show and take it in like a new direction. Maybe change up. Everybody loves the Klepper clips. I wouldn't be surprised if they make him the host of the Daily Show now. Tall white guy. He's pretty funny. But his whole shtick is making fun of Trump supporters. So but it's funny. So I don't know how that's gonna work out for them. I mean, like that may not be enough, you know. So, but people really like him, so I'm sure that he'll stay on with the show and be doing clips and shit. And wait a minute, then you got the other black guy. They could actually make this guy this host because he does a lot of production type stuff. And he was working right there next to Trevor the whole time. I cannot think of his name right now. That would be a better option actually than Klepper to host the show, because I think that he have experience. He could actually do it. Klepper would be like a new role for him, kind of. But the other guy, the black guy, I can't think of his name. It would just be like him doing the same thing. Like it wouldn't be much of a. It would be more seamless. It would be more of a seamless transition, and then maybe they could give it to him and let him take it in a direction. What the Daily Show needs to do is they need to pick a side or whatever, and they need to go hard on it, you know, and then they'll get viewers, you know, and then they'll get plenty of people. But they're gonna have to pick a side, and then they're gonna have to go hard on that side. So, like, let's say, for example, like let the black guy, I can't think of his name. Let's say you put him in the show as the head of the show, and then he just kind of, one of his things he likes to talk about is reparations. So what if they just kind of like took it in that direction of like black rights and black civil rights and reparations, and like they'll lose a segment of their audience for sure, but I think they'll gain more than they'll lose, and then the show will just be totally different, and it'll be a totally different like crowd base and everything. But I don't see them doing that. That would make too much sense. But who's to say though? They make that movie Black Panther, they made all that money off of that, and then The Woman King, you know, make the Daily Show some kind of, call it the Black Daily Show, the Daily Black Show or something. I don't know if they would have the nuts to do that, but I think it would be successful. So hey, I just gave y'all a pitch. I just gave y'all, send me my check. Y'all owe me if y'all use that shit. I know you're not gonna use it because y'all don't have the nuts to, but it would work. Or what they could do is they could take it in the whole. Well, they're so liberal, so I can't see them taking it on the right direction and taking it fully right. Or the other option is to do like Crystal and Sager and have like points from the hard right, and have points from the hard left, and have them just kind of argue on topics. Or maybe they bring up a topic and both sides kind of just argue it. That people will watch that. And then make it funny. Yeah, people will watch that. Jimmy Dore talked about old girl from Italy. I want to talk about that. I hope I didn't cover this already. I don't think so, because I think this was from today. And I need to rest my damn throat.
So there's a new prime minister of Italy, eh? And you want to hear? Here's everybody's making a big deal out. Here's her speech. And let's listen. So you know what I'll do? Because we still.
You don't speak Italian, but
I don't speak Italian. Okay. But if I could really speak it. So I'll do it a little. I'll read it out because there's a lot of people who listen to this show as a podcast. So I will also interpret. Here we go. She says, "This is about what we are. This is about what we are doing here today. Why is the family an enemy? Why is the family so frightening? There is a single answer to all these questions, because it defines us, because it is our identity, because everything that defines us is now an enemy. For those who would like us to no longer have an identity and to simply be perfect consumer slaves, and so they attack national identity, they attack religious identity, they attack gender identity, they attack family identity. I can't define myself as Italian, Christian, woman, mother. No. I must be citizen X, gender X, parent 1, parent 2. I must be a number. Because when I am only a number, when I no longer have an identity or roots, then I will be the perfect slave at the mercy of financial speculators. The perfect consumer." Now, this is wild. that she's saying these things. Well, I'll finish and then we'll come back. The perfect consumer. That's the reason why. And then she finds a poem. That's why we inspire so much fear. That's why this event inspires so much fear. Because we do not want to be numbers. We will defend the value of the human being. Every single human being, because each of us has a unique genetic code that is unrepeatable. And like it or not, that is sacred. We will defend it. We will defend God, country, and family. Those things that disgust people so much, we will do it to defend our freedom, because we will never be slaves and simple consumers at the mercy of financial speculators. That is our mission. That is why I came here today. So it sounds like she wants to stand. It can't be. But what from that, it sounds like she wants to stand up to the capitalists. She sounds like a communist. That's what she sounds like. But everybody's saying she's a fascist. Now, remember what fascism is. Mussolini, who everybody says she's following after, and she said nice things about Mussolini. Mussolini is the one who defined fascism as the coming together of corporations and state to screw over the worker. Right? So for the benefit of the corporation and the state, not the citizen. And they're saying she's a fascist, but she sounds like she's standing up to the capitalists. She sounds like she could be a communist. And she says Chesterton wrote more than a century ago. Listen to this quote. Here she goes. She has to find it. Chesterton wrote, "Fires will be kindled to testify that 2 and 2 make 4. Swords will be drawn to prove that leaves are green in summer. That time has arrived. We are ready." Thank you.
Damn, that's heavy.
Whoa.
Like a mic drop.
Whoa.
It's interesting that people are once again using the term fascist or, oh no, she's Mussolini but a woman. I want to remind people that she was democratically elected. So what does that say? It means that there is a reaction by the people in Italy towards policies that were imposed upon them in 2021 and in 2020 and in 2021. And I know there's a lot of people on Twitter who are just spazzing out because, oh no, this person who said nice things about Mussolini are in office. I just want to remind them that we've had U.S. presidents commit open genocide, from good old George Washington, from Abe Lincoln. And the thing is, never forget the Nuremberg trials, where I forget what U.S. official asked which high-ranking Nazi official, but where'd you guys learn this? And the Nazis said, we learned it from you Americans on how you handled the Native Americans. We've had open fascist and genocide in the United States long before the term fascism came into existence. You think we conquered the West through a handshake and a high five? There was a genocide that took place amongst the Native American population.
And
they
so
were exterminated.
And so she is a back. So this is what people are saying, that she's a backlash. People voted for her as just as you pointed out, a backlash to the authoritarian COVID policies. And Giorgia Meloni has, so this is what Peter Sweeten says. He says, Giorgia Meloni has spent the last 2 years as the only politician in Italy fighting against the COVID passports. Now the Italian people just elected her as prime minister. So do you see how, because our politicians in America, Democrats have become so right-wing, so authoritarian that they can make someone like DeSantis look appealing to people who think that he's fighting for civil rights because he's standing up against authoritarian around COVID. Same thing here. So there's a backlash to your authoritarianism. And what that does, it's throwing peoples into the hands of what you call fascists. But to me, fighting COVID passports, that sounds like fascism to me. I can't go to a movie unless I get this thing. I can't go to eat at a restaurant. I can't get on a plane or a train. I can't travel. I can't do business. I can't do anything. So let me just go ahead, Kit. Go ahead.
I think we have to remember that, people are understandably enraged, not only just here in America, but worldwide. It was what happened to all of us in 2020 and 2021. We saw no real leadership address the pandemic, this global pandemic that we were all impacted by. And through that, we saw our politicians still live like fat cats. Their donors live like fat
That's
cats.
right.
And the thing is, ask the regular person how they feel when their entire world is taken away from them. When you take away something, when you take away everything from a human being and they have nothing left to lose, they will react rationally in an irrational environment and do what they can for them to survive in said environment. And so everyone that's panicking about this prime minister in Italy,
Why did a lefty come out? Was that if they're why did you have a lefty come out against COVID passports and you wouldn't have to worry about this happening? The problem is the person who's supposed to be the lefty is to the right of the person who you say is a fascist. That's your fucking problem. Same thing in America. Joe Biden is to the right of people you're calling fascists. Joe Biden is the authoritarian. Joe Biden is the fascist. Joe Biden is the one who's screwing over workers, students, and any citizen in America at the behest of Wall Street or a corporation. So the problem is you don't have a left party anymore. They became right-wingers.
That's what I've been saying.
Guess what? So here's at the Atlantic, they call it the return of fascism to Italy. Just like that. And then they quote Hillary Clinton. You want to hear who's happy about her being elected? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton says the election of the first woman prime minister in a country always represents a break with the past, and that is certainly a good thing. She says it's a good thing inside of an article that says it's fascist.
So I guess Hill Dog is right, and Vote Blue no matter who needs to listen to I'm With Her. There we go. I mean, hey, if Hillary I'm With Her is saying she's all right, well then, hey, Vote Blue no matter who, and SJWs and everyone else, calm down. Just calm down. Hillary gave the gold stamp approval. There you go. Stop panicking. Everyone calm down.
That's amazing. Hillary Clinton's on board for her. So here's, I'll give you some of the reactions I saw. So here's Chernovich, right? So he's a solid right-winger guy. And he says this. He says misogynistic attacks on Giorgia Meloni disgust me. Now that's ironic because people say that he's a misogynist, right? So that's been the attack on him, right? That's what people say. So misogynistic attacks on Giorgia Meloni disgust me. She's the first female prime minister of Italy. So he's trolling these people. If you oppose her, you hate women. Because that's what I was told. If you oppose Hillary Clinton, you hate women. You're like the Iranian mullahs who think they have the power to control women. Evil. So he's trolling. He got a lot of action on that.
Bet you they didn't even know they were getting trolled.
So then Matt Vespo, blue check, says, make Italy great again. And then this guy says, Miga, please. That's pretty funny.
Oh no. I wonder when the Italian prime minister is going to say, hey, I want to rebuild the Roman Empire. European Union, move over. Make the empire return. Show them the old school.
So Greg Price, he says this is Italy's new prime minister, Giorgia Meloni. I've never heard any politician so perfectly explain what we're up against and why we fight. He's referring to the video I just played you. When you watch this video, you'll quickly realize why the establishment is afraid of her. Well, it's weird. How could she be seemingly to stand up? Her speech is about standing up against capitalists. That they don't want to make us just another consumer, another number. She's against COVID, authoritarian COVID passports. So I don't know. I'm not saying she's not a fascist because everybody's a fascist these days. Certainly Joe Biden is. The new prime minister allegedly ushering in fascism to Italy has also been a steadfast and strong voice of support for Ukraine and NATO. Huh. Does this mean that pro-Ukrainian, pro-NATO position is now fatally tainted by its association with fascism? I don't even know what this cartoon means. Do you know what this cartoon means? Does anybody? I don't even know what it means.
What I can guess is Italy is. I think it's Barrett. God, what's his name? He was the prime minister of Italy for a long time. Berlusconi or what is it? No,
Bertoloni or
Bertoloni. Yeah. I don't know. I guess you could say Italy's just throwing its food back at the European Union because they don't want to be part of its BS anymore.
Oh, that.
I don't think that's what that cartoon says. It's funny that he got this COVID-19, get the latest information from CDC about COVID-19 stamp underneath this video. I don't remember him talking about it at all in there. The caption says, Italy has elected a new prime minister, Giorgia Meloni, and many members of the commentariat are raising alarms that Meloni is a fascist. There's no question Meloni is a member of Italy's far-right party, and she's previously spoken positively about Mussolini, but little of the hand-wringing has dealt with what her actual policy positions are. Although we do not know that she supports Ukraine in the war with Russia, so that offers some evidence she could at least be a Nazi adjacent. Yeah, I think he's kid gloves with her. He's kind of being really friendly, but at the same time, I think that a lot of people wouldn't be able to argue with what she was saying in that particular clip. But I've heard more of her talking, so I know how she is. But still, you know, the truth is the truth. Reality is reality. She said some stuff that pissed France off, and that shit was true too. I played that yesterday. Let me read some more. It says, she's not anti-capitalist. She's anti-globalist. Okay. Let me read another one. It says, no, Jimmy, she's not standing up to the capitalists. She's standing up to the globalists. There's a difference. Okay. 2 people said that. Another one. It says, I like the way she went through her notes to find the quote from Chesterton. She wasn't phased at all. So unlike the robotic politicians we have. Another comment, it says, if she made this speech in the U.S., the DOJ and the FBI will be breaking down not only her door, but anyone she ever knew. Another comment, it says, I like her. She has fire. She has passion. Another comment, it says, me. Sounds kind of like she's a normal person. The media clutches pearls. She's pretty extra though. That clip is just a clip. If you really want to know, I mean, there's plenty of her speeches. Her acceptance speech. She said how she felt about things in that one. Let me read. And I didn't disagree with everything that she said, but I can't go along with this kind of like super ultra. It's a reaction, really. It's a reaction. It's like an anger. It's a reaction. That kind of emotion or that kind of like vibe, that kind of like going at things is not going to be successful at accomplishing anything. It's just going to make a mess, make more of a mess because you're completely stuck in your emotion. You're completely stuck into your like feelings and stuff. And you're completely like dogmatic and like feeling like that's how you get the Taliban. That's how you get communities like that. That's how you get what you call it in Iran right now. It's the same stuff. And it's destructive and it's not going to work. Not for long. You see, like, what happened to Mussolini? You know, what happened to the other fascists? Okay, go back and look at their history. They were successful for a while. Then, things changed quickly for them. Let me read some more. It says, I listened to the speech 5 times in a row. The Duran guys were saying that Italy needs to get free of the Euro system and forge their own way with currency and creditors before they can go to independence. Pray for Italians to be smart and get what they want for their country. Another comment. She is neither communist nor fascist, but a citizen leader standing against the corporate fascists of the New World Order and a citizen standing up for freedom of the individual. I totally love her words. Yeah, but the thing is, over here in the States, we're really friendly to fascism without even knowing it. And we've been that way historically. It's just people don't know that. Because they're not taught history properly. They need to be taught the history in context. They teach you an event and they tell you like kind of what happened and what years it was, what year it happened and what people was involved, but they don't teach you about the context of it. Like, what was the lead up to it? What were the conditions that caused it, you know? And what other outside influences had influence on the situation heading in that direction? You know, and how does it work within the other events? Because that's the other thing they don't do when they teach you history. They don't teach you like how this major event impacted this other major event, and how like things kind of fall like dominoes. Anyways, I'm gonna get emotional if I start talking about history. Vice is talking about the Supreme Court. The other day I meant to talk about Facebook and the bots. It was the Jimmy Dore. So this is another Jimmy Dore clip. I don't want to be too heavy on Jimmy Dore today, but I can't help it because I meant to play this clip earlier in the week and I mentioned it in the video, but I don't remember playing it. I hope I didn't play this and I forgot that I played it. I don't remember playing this though.
So we were just talking about that the biggest purveyors of misinformation is the government, and second would be the corporate media. People on YouTube are way, way, way down on the list. So consortium. So this is an amazing story. So they found out they did this. A covert online propaganda operation said to be the world's largest, promoting pro-Western narratives, has been found to be operating primarily out of the United States.
Go fucking figure.
Targeting Russia, China, and Iran. I was told Russia, China, and Iran are the ones doing that to us.
And also they're targeting us, not just Russia, China, and Iran.
Yeah, right. Our own government is propagandizing us now.
Covert online propaganda operation said to be the world's largest, promoting pro-Western narratives, has been found to be operating primarily out of the United States, targeting Russia, China, and Iran.
Because Barack Obama signed the law that made that okay. He repealed the Posse Comitatus Act, which made it okay to propagandize people in the United States. I'm pretty sure that's what that
Smith-Mundt
did.
modernization. I got so obsessed with it after the story.
Oh, yeah?
Because I think it's such a great, like, you'd never heard of it, the Smith-Mundt Act, and then it's got, how do we modernize it?
What is the Smith-Mundt Act?
It's illegal to propagandize
Oh, that's it.
citizens.
So not
And
the
then-
Posse I got the wrong.
Yeah.
I got it wrong.
And
So
then
let me-
Obama modernized it by saying, yes, you can.
look up the Posse Comitatus and put it in Chris Hedges. He writes about it. So he would tell us what that is. So that's right. I got it mixed up. It's the
No, that
Smith,
really upset me, that thing. John Kierkegaard was telling us. I
the
remember.
Smith-Mundt Act.
Mhm.
So here we go. We believe this activity represents the most extensive case of covert pro-Western information operation on the social media to be reviewed and analyzed by open source researchers to date. Who said that? People from Stanford and an internet research firm called Graphica. I like that name.
Hey, by the way, guys, thanks for getting around and taking a look at that.
Yeah.
It's been going on the whole time.
Been going on forever. The researchers found most of the information operation likely originated in the United States. From there, it ran a massive interconnected web of automated bot accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and other social media platforms. I feel like I've been the victim of some of
I
that.
took a screenshot when I got it because it almost, at first, I was like, because I get that, you changed. Your politics used to be good. Now you've really lost it. I'm like, my politics weren't good.
No, but
and I look up, his name is Kreenst, Creenst, Kreenst Howard, and there's like this auto AI looking generated face. I'm like,
that's what they like to say, man, you've lost it. You changed. I used to like you,
that's
but
a
you've
bot.
changed.
That's a bot. I took a picture.
So it's like, what's crazy is anybody that be on the internet a lot knows that there's bots out there. So, and a lot of them. So, but I always thought it'd just be like random people who just got a lot of fucking time on their hands. Or somebody who's getting paid for some personal, like, whatever. Like, they're just getting paid to fucking, I don't know, do some bots on whatever. So, but look, they're saying that a lot of this is coming from, like, the government, bro. Like, the U.S., like, freaking, they made the bots. and got the bots on there fucking with y'all on the internet, leading y'all down this path or that path or whatever the hell.
Should I ask people, does this look a bot to you?
The accounts heavily criticized Russia, in particular for the deaths of innocent civilians and other atrocities its soldiers committed in pursuit of the Kremlin's imperial ambitions following its invasion of Ukraine in February this year, the report says. So there's a report that everybody's ignored, except people at the Consortium News and now us. This report is all the more surprising because SIO and Grafika have deep connections to the U.S. national security state and to information campaigns against U.S. designated. So these people usually work with the government, and they're the ones exposing this right now. That makes this all the surprising.
Are they trying to compete to get the job and do it better or something?
I don't know what this is. To me, I don't know why. So SIO's director, Alex Stamos, boy, he's got a handsome brother, for example, is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, a visiting scholar at the Hoover Institute, and on the advisory board of NATO's Collective Cybersecurity Center of Excellence. He was the chief security officer at Facebook, where he led the company's investigation into alleged Russian manipulation of the 2016 U.S. election. Ironically titled Unheard Voice, evaluating 5 years of pro-Western COVID influence operations, the report has been studiously ignored by almost all in the Western establishment media since its release last month. It's because the Pentagon is doing it. We're doing it. The Pentagon is doing it. The United States CIA and Pentagon are doing this. And of course, the corporate media is funded by the military-industrial complex.
Now, I saw a story about, I think, am I listening to me wrong? The Pentagon, it was like reviewing, like, why are we spending all this money on this? Is that correct?
So it's coming up.
Yeah.
So, but do y'all get this? There was a bunch of bots that was influencing the election or whatever. And so there was a lot of pressure on Facebook to do something about it. So they did an investigation and found these bots and discovered, boom, they was working with the Pentagon. Uh-oh.
So go back to, despite the scale and targeting of the propaganda operation, the spectacular revelations have received only scant attention, like this slight mention in the Sydney Morning Herald. A lighthearted column in the Washington Post refers to it as a splashy report, saying some of the covert U.S. accounts had posted cat pictures in order to appear authentic. The column references Russia and Chinese cyber espionage operations in framing its... So when the Washington Post, I'll show you, part of the reason the report has been effectively buried maybe because it was conveniently overshadowed on the very same day of its release by another Stanford Internet Observatory release titled A Front for Influence, an analysis of pro-Kremlin network promoting narratives on COVID-19 and Ukraine. So Stanford released both these reports, and the corporate media only look at this one. They don't look at the other one that tells you that the United States is the world's terrorists doing everything that they claim their enemies are doing.
They might get fired? Come on.
The covert pro-Western fake accounts identified by Twitter and Meta had created fake personas with a generative adversarial network computer-generated faces. So that's all made up. They have AI that does all this. There isn't even a person doing it.
Yeah, I think that doctor guy with the bees and shit.
Whatever. It's probably one of those.
It's the same face that I saw on mine. The eyes are too big. And if you do AI art and you put it in, it'll be like offsite. Look at it when you see it. Yeah.
So they can even automate memes, leveraged memes and short form videos, attempted to start hashtag campaigns and launched online. But this is your government doing this.
Wait, are you saying there is no K-Hive? That's a made up.
So here's the New York Times. They're saying the two groups attributed some of the accounts taken down by Facebook and Twitter to the Trans-Regional Web Initiative. More than a 10-year-old Pentagon. So Facebook is taking down bots, and the bots are from the Pentagon. You think they're working together because they are. So that's why it's weird that this is happening.
What is that? This is weird.
So a more than 10-year-old Pentagon initiative that sends out information in support of the United States in areas where the U.S. military operates. Some of the more polished work was aimed at Twitter and Telegram users in Iran and pushed a wide variety of views. While most of the messages were critical of the Iranian government, researchers said others were supportive of it. The kind of activity that could potentially be designed to inflame debate and sow divisions in the country. We're doing exactly what we said Russia did to us.
Yeah.
He's sowing division.
And that's what we've done the entire time I've been alive.
We've been doing this.
Everyone's mad here, and they're about to overthrow the government. Are they? They hate their own government more than us? Really?
The program evoked the propaganda campaigns that authoritarian governments. So they're saying it evoked. You mean the United States is doing the exact thing that authoritarian governments we pointed the finger at do? We're doing the exact thing, and we've always done the exact thing that dictators that we've claimed are horrible do? Yes. But do you see how they fucking word it? Do you see the wording
Jimmy,
here?
I like how Sam Harris puts it. When they do it, it's a window into their evil soul.
Yes.
When we do it, it's like,
because we're good.
Something.
Because we're good people.
Yeah. So it's not that
and we
bad.
know better.
Yeah.
But disinformation experts say they were not very successful. This program was not very successful.
It worked here.
So most of the posts received only a handful of likes anyway. And only 19% of the accounts that were identified had over even 1,000 followers. So the U.S. military, they're failed clout chasers.
So they
what
realized to stay with the old school media for the propaganda and not get into the memeing, and that's what it is, I bet.
The U.S. military can't even win Twitter wars anymore.
That's amazing.
Over the past 8 years, Facebook has named over a dozen countries that have created Russian-style disinformation efforts, including Iran, Sudan, Nicaragua. What about the United States, New York Times? What about the United States? The company now publishes monthly reports in which it describes new disinformation campaigns it has uprooted. So here it is. Here's the New York Pentagon orders review of its overseas social media campaigns. The move comes after Twitter and Facebook shut down misleading accounts that they determined were sending messages to promote U.S. foreign policy. So again, it's weird. So it's not weird that the Pentagon is doing this. We know they've been doing this, but it's weird that Facebook has been taking down some of their bot accounts.
There's some power play going on where some guy's bright idea is going to be supplanted by another. You know, like when you have Bill Benny and he had his thing, it was a better idea, and they pushed him out. I bet it's something inner, you know.
So here's how the New York Times covered this. White House officials told the military that they were concerned about its efforts to spread pro-American messaging on social media, prompting the Pentagon to order a review of secretive operations to influence populations overseas. The review follows a decision by Twitter and Facebook over the summer to shut down misleading accounts that they determined were sending messages. So I guess what happened, I'm guessing that
Let me read the caption. Can y'all hear me? It says, for many years now, the United States military has been developing and deploying an army of bots to spread disinformation, sow discord among perceived enemies, and promote U.S. foreign policy. The Pentagon has overdone it to such an extent that even traditionally compliant partners in U.S. imperialism like Facebook and Twitter have banned the military bots from their platforms. Interesting. What do y'all think about that? Let me read some comments. It says, the U.S. military can't even win Twitter's wars anymore. Jimmy, that is priceless. Another comment, it says, when exposing a crime is treated as committing a crime, you are ruled by criminals. Edward Snowden. Thanks, Jimmy, for having the temerity to call out those sociopaths and their dystopian nightmare agenda. Another comment, it says, this happened in Canada too. Look up an article titled, Military Leaders Saw Pandemic as Unique Opportunity to Test Propaganda Techniques on Canadians, Forces report says. Another comment, the U.S. military can't even win Twitter wars. Ha ha ha. Another comment. When my old lefty type friends tell me I've changed, I take it as a supreme compliment. Another comment. I have friends who flat out refuse to believe they're being propagandized by our government. It's insane. Another comment. They don't have to win arguments. They just need to create enough doubt and confusion so the people don't unite against the establishment. I think that's the goal right there. He says they don't have to win arguments. They just need to create enough doubt and confusion. And I think that's what happens every time. Like, you got a segment of society who thinks that Trump won the president election. And it's going on 2 years now. You know, let me read some more. It says, thank you, Jimmy, a team, for being a bright light in the suffocating darkness of our society. It says, no text can express how genuinely shocked I am by this information. I don't know. If you're shocked by this, you haven't been paying attention. It's just shocking that they don't talk about it, that it doesn't come out, that it's not a major news story. That's shocking to me. What's shocking to me is when you tell somebody this, they're going to be like, meh. That's shocking. How are you going to freaking... And some people are talking about this story. Let's go ahead and do it.
More troubling allegations surrounding Brett Favre. Yeah, fam. This guy. Oh, yeah. I got my foot on his neck, and that's where it shall stay until big media does the job that it claims it does by reporting fair and balanced news. They're still not talking about this case, but I suspect the more I talk about it, the more others on YouTube and other platforms, especially these streaming platforms, talk about it, they'll have no choice because the people will demand that they cover it. Yeah. Brett Favre, lock him up. Stealing money from the poor to give to the rich. This dude is worth $100 million. And he's stealing money from welfare recipients. Good God. Brett's charity, whose mission is to help underserved and disabled children and breast cancer patients, reportedly gifted donated funds to his alma mater's athletic department. Favre's charity, Favre for Hope, donated more than $130,000 to the University of Southern Mississippi Athletic Foundation between 2018 to 2020, according to The Athletic. Money meant for children and cancer patients. The outlet reports tax record shows Favre's charity gave the USM Foundation $60,000 in 2018 and $46,817 in 2019. In 2020, the foundation received $26,715 from Brett's charity. Other organizations received money according to The Athletic, but those amounts were typically under $10,000. Check this out, fam. The donations came while Brett Favre, Mr. Football, tried to obtain $5 million from Mississippi's welfare fund, meant for the state's most vulnerable, so that he could build the University of Southern Mississippi, a multi-million-dollar volleyball facility. Now, y'all tell me what's more important. I'll wait. This dude was taking money from poor people to build a damn volleyball facility. That's it, man. That's it. I never liked him. Never liked him anyway. The dude was really a bad person the whole time he played football. But Green Bay propped him up because he brought them back from the dead. You know, they started winning when he came. So people kind of tolerated the dude. The dude was getting caught up in all kinds of stuff, being drunk, womanizing. He was getting caught up in stuff all the time, but they kept sweeping it under the rug. Kind of like they did that boy that played for, which one got the rape allegation? Roethlisberger or something like that, that played for Pittsburgh. That's my team, by the way. But damn, man, dude, he didn't get like an ounce of what Michael Vick got for fighting some damn dogs. Vick fought some damn dogs and they wanted him dead. They was trying to give him the death penalty. There's people out here talking about he need to have a death penalty for fighting some damn dogs. They ain't said nothing about Big Ben. Nothing. What's the other football player? The white dude with the long, dirty looking hair that beat up his wife, beat up his girlfriend, beat the brakes off of her. They ain't said nothing. I'm gonna cover that real soon again too. That's right. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna do just like y'all do these black athletes. What's the guy named Rice? Can't remember his first name. Was it Ray Rice or something like that? Anyway, that dude, football player, him and his woman got into it. Oh man, they tried to make him the poster boy for brutality. It's the double standard is very, very clear, fam. Anytime that skin got that melanin in it, man, they coming to get you. They gonna make a big, big deal out of it. The coach, they clowning him right now. Ime Udoka, clowning him for cheating during a consensual relationship. And cheating happen every day, all day, by the tens of millions of people cheat every single day. But he did it. Now he the scum of the earth. That news, him cheating, his cheating scandal is bigger in the news. It's playing out bigger in the news than Brett Favre, a Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, it's clear that he's a Hall of Famer. It's playing out bigger than him cheating the state of Mississippi out of $8 million. Stealing from poor people. This is world news. This should be on the front of every newspaper. It should be at the top of every single newscast. Every day. Even when the hurricane come, after you talk about the hurricane, go back to Brett Favre. Cut to the hurricane, come back to Brett Favre. Cut back to the hurricane, come back, go over to what's it called? The country that's getting blasted by Russia.
Ukraine.
I can't even think right now, man. I'll come back to it later. But anyway, go over there, then come back and go back to Brett Favre. It's a big story. They're trying to sweep it under the rug. Ukraine. They're trying to sweep it under the rug. It ain't gonna work because
I'm glad he figured that it was Ukraine. Let me read some comments underneath it. First comment says, what gets me is that nobody ever says anything about these other governors and senators stealing from the people in their state. What does that got to do with anything? Another comment says, I applaud you, Willie. You're a voice for those without one, tearing down the unrighteous. Another comment says, he deserves 30 years in the joint. Another comment that says, Shannon Sharp said the guy been a dirtbag for years, and when you really look at things, this guy was involved enough to know Shannon is spot on. Another comment that says, that's a crummy thing to do to poor folks. Just think of things we don't know about Brett. If he has no problem robbing from the poor people that he grew up around. Thank you, Willie, for bringing attention to a heartless thief. Brett has hundreds of millions of dollars and plenty coming in, and he robs from the poor to get what he wants, as opposed to breaking some pocket change from his own wallet that could have easily been tax write-off. Man, that's terrible. I grew up dirt poor, and I know all too well how that feels. Some of the best folks that you'll ever meet are dirt poor and don't have 2 pennies to rub together, yet they would share the shirt off their back to help others. It's always been like this, rich robbing the poor. Yep, man. I think this is common practice, even what they're doing. And that's the reason why a lot of people don't like these social programs here in the States, because they always feel like it's a waste. And that's a really good argument, actually, because you got situations like this where it should have been going to the people and it goes into a stadium, and that's what happens every time. Let me read another comment. It says, Brett Favre is worth over $100 million. Why couldn't he use his own money? He needs to be in jail. Another comment, it says, what kills us is this unfair parallel judicial system. One set of unfair justices for us and pass for the others. Just shameful. Guess he thought he could get away with it. If the big fat orange was reelected, he and the governor got exposed. Stay on him, Willie D. He'll probably get pardoned. Let me read another comment. It says, investing in crypto now. Not gonna read that. Yeah, when I start getting to comments like that, I gotta freaking get the fuck out. I really wasn't gonna cover this story, but it kept popping up on my timeline, so I figured I'd cover it. But Brett Favre supposedly, it was a what was it? It was the money was supposed to go to, I don't forgot. It's some kind of social program. And was it food stamps? I don't freaking know. And but anyways, embezzling the money, like he made a deal with these people and shoot, like, hey, yeah, don't put that money over there, put that money over here. I'm sure that happens all the time. But he got caught, and Benny's a celebrity. It makes it a story. So, but again, like, I didn't really want to cover it because I don't really care. But at the same time, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. That's really foul, bro. I'm a fan of Brett Favre playing. I like Green Bay. That's who I play with when I play Madden. I like to play Madden with Green Bay because I like them. And the reason why I was watching Green Bay back in the days was because of Brett Favre. But I think when you're watching like football or whatever, you're into the sports, you don't care about them as a person. You just care about them as how they freaking throw that ball and run around and get hit and shit. Yeah, having a lot of heart out there on the field. We don't care about the rest of that shit. Maybe we should, though. But I would talk about how these people are overpaid anyways. All the way ridiculously, grossly overpaid. He shouldn't be worth no $100 billion or however much it is, $100 million. He shouldn't be. He was playing fucking ball for a living, bro. Like, what the hell kind of society do we live in? Call me fucking crazy. The highest paid people are people that run around with the ball. Bro, they play ball. They grown-ass men that play ball. They play ball. They play with balls, and they run around. It doesn't really mean nothing. It doesn't help nothing. It's not pushing us forward. It's not growing anything. It's not creating anything. Okay, I mean, like, they're really athletic, and some of that stuff is pretty damn genius. I like the complex related to the plays that they call and stuff. I like that. But at the same time, like, what the hell, bro? earlier I was talking about our disdain for education. Here goes another example right here. We're willing to play football players. You know, in most states, football coach is the highest paid person in that state, all across the United States. Probably like 48 of the states. Last time I looked at it, highest paid person in that state is a football coach. And y'all like, whatever, that doesn't mean nothing. Come on, man, look at this. How much do the teachers get paid? Children are our future? No. How much do other people who do really important jobs get paid? Why does this person that's running around with the damn ball get paid so much? And these people who do stuff that really fucking matter gets paid so little? Answer that for me. Go fucking figure. Call me fucking crazy. Whenever I say this kind of stuff, people are like, you're crazy. Okay, I'm crazy. I just think that the society that we live in is backwards as hell. It's fucking insane. Yeah, let's play this.
Nobody will understand.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And you're still so full of shit. I'm sorry.
Just because a monkey can dance does not mean it's January.
Oh, for Pete's sakes, Pinocchio. Except your nose looks more like the Dodge Ram logo.
And everybody should dodge ramming your mother.
You son of a bitch.
Hey!
Just leave her out of this.
Impounded buffalo.
Come on.
Come on.
Basically, I already said that. I hate you. This has been an African proverb. Nobody will understand.
Is your mother home?
Oh, go fuck yourself.
I just want to say hi.
Shut up.
Come on.
Fucking hilarious. Hold on, let's play this again.
Nobody will understand.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And you're still so full of shit. I'm sorry.
Just because a monkey can dance does not mean it's January.
Oh, for Pete's sakes, Pinocchio. Except your nose looks more like the Dodge Ram logo.
And everybody should dodge ramming your mother.
You son of a bitch.
Hey!
Just leave her out of this.
Impounded buffalo.
Come on.
Oh, man. That dude is hilarious to me. I hope he really freaking blows up. I covered most of the shit I wanted to cover. I got a couple more things, though. Everybody is selling you something online. Everything is an ad. People are ads. They walk around with the damn logos on them. Always selling you something. Freaking Slim Thug is living life, bro. He made good decisions in life, bro. I'm a fan of... I don't really like his music that much. I ain't gonna lie, it's boring. Some of the older stuff I like. But I'm a fan of him as a person. This guy here is cool as hell, man. He does represent H-Town. Like, he's a H-Town. You know, that's why I like him. I'm a fan of this guy, big time. Seems like a cool dude.
Because I thought he was boring. Turns out he was just healthy and sane. You see, when I was dating my husband, I realized how joyful he was, how active he was, how motivated, career, goal-driven, money saver, never wanted any problems. And every time we became misaligned, he would just want to sit down and talk about it calmly, hear each other out, forgive each other if necessary, and just move on and continue growing. And I misinterpreted this as him not fighting for my love. You see, I grew up in a very chaotic type of love, the novela type, where everybody's slamming doors, yelling at each other. You don't talk to each other for days. And so I thought that was love. I thought that was passion. And what I want to remind you of is to look back at the type of love that you grew up around and ask yourself if you were just addicted to a chaotic, dramatic type of love, and realize that that's not the type of love that you need now in your relationship, that you need now to grow. God doesn't want that for you. You understand? Look at that for a second and ask yourself, how do you want to love? How do you want to be loved? Because I'll tell you one thing, it's not the novella type of love. I almost broke up with my husband because I thought he was boring. Turns out he was just healthy and sane. You see, when I was dating my husband, I realized how joyful he was, how active he was, how motivated, career, goal.
And like, I'm like that type too. Like, if we have a problem, let's talk about it. Like we talked about, Deuce talked about that too. He said that's the same way he is with his wife. It's like, let's talk about this, you know? It's unhealthy to do it the other ways. And then the other person takes it as you being rude and you're the one who's being toxic. When you want to talk about, let's talk about this. And then instead of like, okay, I'm mad at you for 2 days, and then after that, then I just kind of act like nothing ever happened. That's fucking insane. That's fucking crazy. And a lot of people do that. It's very common. We're not going to talk about this crazy episode that just happened. Call me crazy. Like I say, man, I'm just crazy. Don't fit in. Oh, I know what other story I wanted to cover. Freaking South Carolina Hurricane Ian. Because I saw some clips. Okay, here we go. I don't know, is this one old? It says 1 day ago. I saw some clips today that they was like rescuing people and shit, and I think that was in South Carolina.
This time north of Charleston, just south of Myrtle Beach, hitting as a Category 1 hurricane, 85-mile-an-hour winds. And just look at this storm tonight, stretching up the East Coast, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, the Northeast will all feel this. It stretches more than 1,000 miles now. The new images tonight of Hurricane Ian as it approached South Carolina, the storm surge there in Garden City, slamming right into town. The eye wall arriving, battering Litchfield Beach, those pictures right there. And tonight we are seeing these images again, the rescues on the water, high water vehicles navigating the storm in Litchfield Beach, rescuing families from flooded streets and homes there. While in Southwest Florida, the horror, look at this, the scope coming into sharper focus tonight, Fort Myers Beach among the hardest hit, homes just wiped away. And our team making it to Sanibel Island, cut off from the mainland, and what they found. Families, neighbors waiting for 2 days for help and unsure about the fate of many throughout their community. The Coast Guard arriving with helicopters lifting survivors to safety, and we have it all covered tonight. Rob Marciano tracking this into the night, and we begin with ABC's Elwin Lopez in Charleston, South Carolina for us.
Tonight, Ian is on the move, making a third U.S. landfall as a strong Cat 1 hurricane with 85-mile-an-hour winds. Roaring on shore in South Carolina's Low Country at the worst possible time during high tide.
The surge is coming in hard.
Ian's powerful storm surge sending a wave of trash cans and debris through the streets south of Myrtle Beach. In Georgetown County, authorities using high water vehicles to rescue families trapped, guiding people and their pets through water almost up to their waist.
Get your feet under you, take your time.
Carefully assisting them as they climb inside. Off Pawleys Island, debris from a pier ripped apart by the sea. In Charleston, powerful winds tossing boats in the harbor.
Sheets of rain rushing into this garage as Ian roars ashore, making landfall here in South Carolina.
South of here in Folly Beach.
It's raining, it's windy, it's flooding.
Connor O'Malley and his fiancée Alyssa Nijame sheltering in place. They're supposed to get married this weekend. Ian, now a monster storm, 1,000 miles across, and still a force to be reckoned with.
And David, officials here are still assessing the damage. This is some of what they're finding: toppled trees, cutting off streets like this one. And tonight, David, officials are warning people to stay off the road. They say that with the ground so saturated, there's a possibility more trees could come crashing down. David.
All right, Elwin, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel.
Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. Download the app. Let me read a couple comments. It says, "Was so happy when that hurricane left Florida, but hate that instead of staying out at sea, it veered toward yet another state, doing even more damage. Sending prayers to all that are affected by the storm." Another comment says, "We made it through Ian. Continue to pray for us, South Carolinians and Florida. What people fail to realize is that even with all the warnings in the world, hurricanes are unpredictable and their path can change just like that." Another comment, "Be blessed, all first responders and volunteers. Heartbreaking. As a person affected by the hurricane in South Carolina, all of these comments are very uplifting. Thank you." Another comment, "OMG, praying for everyone that is affected by the Hurricane Ian. This is so sad and devastating." Another comment, "The storm seems to be starting to break up and die, but the after effects and damage will be in the South for a long time. Good luck to everyone in Florida and South Carolina. Hope you all are safe." Another comment, "Going to visit the ocean is awesome. Having the ocean come visit you, not so much. Thoughts and prayers for all those affected by this horrific storm." Another comment, "That's unfortunate. I suppose all that people can do is try to learn more about how to prepare, plan ahead, and comprehend what's about to occur." Man, because this is going to keep on happening. So we need to build up infrastructures to deal with it. We do everything so after the fact, like we're not preventative. We're punitive. Oh, I'm getting tired anyways. It's Saturday. That's the reason why I don't do Saturday shows sometimes, because I feel like people are going to the club and doing stuff like that. They don't want to watch politics and news and shit. That's just how I feel. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. I think I'll be wasting my time by doing these Saturday night shows. I'm going to go a little bit longer. Let me play this.
Mark Duncan, 54. DMX, 50. Debo, 62. John Singleton, 51. Jesse Powell, 51. David Arnold, 54. Kevin Samuels, 53. And Coolio, 59. Now, what do all of these men have in common? They are black male celebrities that died way before their time. And outside of Jesse Powell and David Arnold, who were still waiting on their cause of death, most died from underlying heart disease, high blood pressure, or stroke on the brain. Didn't even make 70. And if you know someone 70, consider yourself lucky. I'm a lucky man. My dad is 72 next month. But Priority Meal exists because of what I just ran down. In my early career, I took way too many men that looked like me to the morgue. And I had very uncomfortable conversations with their wives and family members at the bedside.
Why do they put the music in there? So annoying. I was just saying that yesterday. I'm scared. You know, the lifestyle that we live, the food that we eat, this damn stressful ass world, all this bullshit, the racism, the prejudice, the classism, you know, the homeless, all of this stuff, the hunger, all of this stuff, it shouldn't be. And we know it. Anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap it, y'all. Peace and love. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all.